1998, Turul Franței începe din Anglia. La graniță, poliția oprește o mașină festina burdușită cu fiole de eritropoetină, EPO, substanța care crește artificial numărul de globule roșii pentru a favoriza transportul de oxigen la plămâni. Dopaj de ultimă generație. Din acel moment începe un scandal planetar soldat cu excluderea echipelor și arestarea cicliștilor, desființarea clasamentelor și înființarea Agenției Mondiale Antidoping. Planeta descoperă îngrozită fața ascunsă hidoasă a sportului. Se promite o minunată lume nouă, dar oamenii nu se pot opri. 1999, Lance Armstrong începe seria uluitoare de victorii și instituie, la 200 de ani de la Revoluția franceză, teroarea în Pluton. Îl strivește pe Ulrich, mândria germanilor, îl respectă doar pe pantani. 2004, italianul e găsit mort într-un hotel din Rimini, supradoză. Câțiva ani mai târziu, Agenția Americană Antidoping semnează decesul sportiv și ștergerea din anala lui Lance Armstrong, împotriva căruia au depus mărturie foștii coechipieri. 2005-2006, danezul Michael Rasmussen face senzație în tur, devine cel mai bun cățărător. 2007, Rasmussen e în galben la 4 zile de Paris, Contador se află la peste 3 minute în spatele lui. Davide Casani, fost ciclist, anunță că l-a văzut pe danez antrenându-se în Italia, după ce Rasmussen declarase că nu fusese găsit de 3 ori pentru control antidoping, deoarece se afla în Mexic. Echipa Rabobank decide să-l retragă din cursă, scandalul e mai înalt ca alții. O vreme Rasmussen s-a luptat în justiție pentru a-și dovedi nevinovăția. A fost suspendat 2 ani, a revenit și a mai câștigat câteva curse. Apoi, pe 31 ianuarie 2013, a recunoscut că a utilizat EPO, hormon de creștere, testosteron, insulină, cortizon, transfuzii sanguine și a intrat în stare de suspendare. În iulie a venit la turul Sibiului pentru a-și urmări echipa la lucru. A acceptat un interviu pentru Digisport.
Michael, nowadays and well, I think for the last past years, everybody is asking about what they see on cycling sport. If what they see is the truth and nothing but the truth about cycling, after 15 years of doping scandals and you name it, all these problems that the cycling had, we have again a new generation. They're speaking again about the clean cycling, and really there are a lot of people saying we don't know what to think about. What should we think about it?
Well, I hope you can believe what you see. I do not want cycling to be in a situation where we once again have to rewrite history in 5 years from now. And honestly, I do believe that things are moving in a better direction now. But to believe that doping has disappeared from cycling or from sport in general would be very naive, I think.
Well, everybody's wondering why people or sport athletes, cyclists mostly, dope themselves. Because everybody keeps saying that you can compete being clean. Is that the case?
Well, you can. You can compete clean, and you could do that also 10 years ago. You could also finish the Tour de France clean. You just couldn't win it.
Is it like Lance Armstrong said, you cannot win the Tour de France if you are not putting your body some illegal substances?
Well, if you look at history, there's a lot of indications saying that Lance Armstrong, he's right about that. And I think it's important to bear in mind that once the Tour de France was invented, so to speak, 110 years ago, it was a competition that it lasted for 6 days, and they did 2,400 kilometers in 6 days on old bikes that are not even like close to what we are riding on today. So instantly you had created a sports event that was attracting some very crazy people. And obviously those people, to do that, they had to do crazy things. And I think from there on, it just developed, and it became a culture. And it takes a long time to change a culture.
But Eddie Maas just said that after Lance Armstrong, a statement about how can you win or not win the Tour de France, just said that, well, not everybody is like that. You can win the Tour de France without doping yourself. Eddie Maas, 5-time Tour de France winner, one of the biggest cyclists, or the biggest cyclist in all time in cycling, according to many. Whom should he believe?
I think Lance is probably more on the mark than Eddie Merckx is. Bear in mind that Merckx, he tested positive himself.
That's true.
So,
in 68, yeah.
So I'm leaning towards Lance in this matter, I would say.
What is your personal history about the culture, the milieu, as the French put it here, you know, of the cycling? How is it about you? You just at a certain moment you realize you cannot win a big competition without EPO, for example?
Well, it's something that you're just getting introduced to it very slowly, because there's nobody when they're... I wanted to be a cyclist since I was 5 years old, and obviously as a 5-year-old or 10-year-old, whenever you start riding the bike, you have no desires to stick needles into your arm. That's not... it's a completely different drive you have at that point, and then after you've been doing all these sacrifices for a long time, then you hit this culture that I was describing that has started 110 years ago, when people, they were doing crazy things, taking rat poisoning and riding on cognac or whatever they did, right? And then after the First World War, people, they were taking stimulants, and after the Second World War, somebody invented steroids and they were taking that, and so on. So it's important to understand that EPO has not been invented by Lance Armstrong or by Michael Rasmussen. We at a certain point in our career, we are hitting this culture and being introduced to it, and that's where you have to make the decision. Say, okay, do I want to keep moving in that direction that my career has been going all the time, or do I want to stop right here?
It's about stopping right there.
Well, do I want to stop the progress in my cycling career? I was winning championship medals at the World Championships when I was a junior, and riding very
You were
fast.
clean that time?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was 100% clean, and I was clean when I was setting the all-time record watt per kilo in Denmark. But at a certain point, it was just not enough any longer.
And when did you realize that?
Well, it happened like when basically just around the Festina scandal in '98. I think that actually worked more as a publicity for doping than the opposite, because up until then it was kind of a secret society, but after that everything was exposed, and I think from there on it really spread to the entire world.
So it wasn't really a good thing, all this scandal, because everybody said from now on we discovered the evil of the sport or of the cycling, and now they won't dare to do that again. It was the opposite after you.
I think for a lot of people it was like, oh, is this the way it works? And I think it was spreading. It was like circles in the water, like from that point on, and like it has just been following the same development as it had in the previous 100 years.
And when you discover it, it's like just like you're demanding for it, or somebody else come and said, look, this is the way you have to win. How this kind of things works?
Nobody has never pushed me to do things. It's always been of my own free will, and it's just a simple desire to be the best, and to be the best at all means.
What was the year of Lance Armstrong? Because, you know, it's very difficult for us. In the beginning was the '98 Festina time, which really changed a little bit the face of the looking at the people has to the cycling and to the world of sports. And then we find out that in fact Lance Armstrong and the other, some of them continue to do that thing with the certain complicity of the international organization of cycling, and of course the other ones followed, and so on and so on. How was that time? How was the era? Because outside we're saying, okay, now maybe they're cleaner than before, maybe we are going the right direction. How was inside the world of cycling?
I think inside the world of cycling, nothing really changed. Like there were people taking drugs the same day that they were sending the Festina team home, and people, they did it the day after again and a day again. So you cannot change a culture like that. It's like you want to turn a super tanker around in this little lake here, And before you manage to do that, it's going to hit the edges a few times. I think, and honestly, I believe that lots of the journalists that have been covering the Tour for many, many years, they have been very well aware of these facts, but they just played along with the cyclists and the culture. And at a certain point, everything was exposed, and at the same time, the journalists themselves, they were exposed as being, so to speak, the ignorance in this case. And obviously, it's a lot easier for a journalist to change a standpoint 180 degrees than it is for an entire culture to turn around 180 degrees. It takes a lot of time to do that. But, like I said, I'm optimistic, and I believe that it is going in the right direction.